Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Working Conversations by Women. My name is Thando Mazibuko, the founder of Elara Women, and on this episode, I wanted to share a little bit about something that's really close to my heart. It's called identity, and we all have some sort or some form of identity or how other people identify us, and what makes your identity. And a lot of the times we will always say that what makes our identity is because Thando likes to wear wigs or Thando is someone who's a reader or something like that. And usually that's how people of the world identify us. And like everyone else, I built my identity or my personal identity around something. And when that something was taken away from me, I had to re-find my identity. And that's what I'll be sharing a little bit about today. So when I was younger, my identity, or what I thought my identity was built up on, was my academics or doing well within academics at school. And I didn't know myself beyond having to achieve, or rather achievement, having to achieve. And that was just what I built my whole identity with. I knew that I was this person or I was this child, and being that child, I had to achieve. And that was expected of me at home, and it was expected of myself, because when you achieve things, people respond well to you. And I came to a place where when I was 19 or about to leave school, the university that I was gonna go to, when had accepted me, they had now said that they could not find my application. There's no record that I even applied after being conditionally accepted. And that shut my whole world, because I had achieved finishing high school, and now I could not go to the university that I thought I should be at and I wanted to be. And that brought about depression in my life, because who was I if I was not achieving at school? And it made me go into a downward spiral, like, of depression. And that depression led me to now being suicidal, because I felt useless. I felt, why was I even here? Surely that all my friends were going to university, and I felt like I was a burden to everyone around me, which wasn't true. And then I decided that, you know what, I'm just gonna end it all and just save everyone the effort and all of this. And I proceeded to attempt my first attempt with suicide, and I was 19 years old. And luckily for me, well, I'm here, so we can see that it didn't end with my death. And we thank God for that, because that's not who I am. That was achieving is just not the only thing that I am, I mean. And it went into, and then I was back at school, and that was really great for me and my self-esteem. And I also realized that I'm not just a person who's an achiever, but I'm one person who's very social, and I like being in social settings because I like to be around other people. And I feel like that's one of the best ways that I can learn things, being around other people, listening, sharing, and going into tertiary education and tertiary institutions. For me, that was a great deal, like, of leaving the house and just socializing with people that were my age, and being at school and making sure I achieved. And then because I was in institutions, private institutions, and my mother could no longer afford to take me to the private institutions, I had to stop going to school, and that also became another point where I was again in the same place, home, with nothing to do, and it made me fall again depressed. And then tragedy struck, and an incident happened where I was with friends, and I was now we were all drinking. It was a social setting, and the friend of a friend, he violated me, and it led to my rape. And that, with being at home and having that happen, I was now back at this place of trying to seek myself and trying to find my identity. And it was a long road. It was a really long road of now trying to grasp of who I am, because who I thought I was had been taken away from me, and now my dignity has also been taken away from me, and now I had to find myself and start over. And that was a very tumultuous time for me, because I started to try to find myself in what I knew was me, or what I could familiarize as me. And for some time that was so for me, for some time I first tried to numb myself, numbing myself from the pain, and numbing myself from just feeling like I'm lost, just numbing myself from everything. And that was through substance abuse, and like excessive drinking and excessive partying, and just throwing myself out there, just not to think about what my life had been, because I was 23 years old, and now I was just this girl. I didn't feel worthy of anyone. And with that, I just started to try to search for myself in different types of things. I first tried to search for myself within people, because the people that loved me, surely that I could find myself because they used to love me. And I didn't find myself within people. I tried to find that myself within friends. I couldn't find myself within friends. And then I've always been a very confident person, so my self-esteem even then was very low. So I tried to find myself within a relationship, and I was in a relationship. Okay, I started dating, and then I started seeing this man we were the same age, but because my confidence was so low, he's probably someone I would never have gone for in the first place. And that relationship was very emotionally and mentally abusive. And I never thought in my whole entire life I'd ever be in a position where I'm in that position with someone. And what happened was, I recognized that this isn't me. This isn't who I'm supposed to be with, and this is gonna end badly. And I even remember one day saying to them, if we don't split up, one of us is going to die. And I have never I have never in my life wished death upon anyone. And that was the first. And I remember him saying, do you think that I would kill you? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, no, I would never kill you. And he was just laughing it off. And he said, would you kill me? And I was like, I don't know. I think I would. Just to feel that I can escape the situation. And the reason why I couldn't make a break for it every time I did is because he was attached to a friend of mine, and I was really close to that friend at the time, and her brother, cousin, they were friends, and I was always with her, and I'd always see him. It was a really anxious time. I felt like I could not escape this person, and it just made me feel terrible. It made me feel terrible, but I was still there because I felt stuck, and I felt like I couldn't leave the situation. And I remember the one time I was like, you know what, I'm done with this, because it's gonna end with him hitting me or something, and I won't let that happen. If he ever had to do that, I was like, then I was genuinely like, I'm not a statistic anymore. Like, I can't. I have this one thing, which was having been raped, and then I could not now go into an abusive relationship. I cannot be this statistic, I thought. And so I was like, I'm gonna end this for my own sanity and for my own peace. And I did. And I remember this one time he came over to my house, and he was like, I'm not gonna try to convince you to be with me or whatever, but you know what, you will never find someone who will love you, not love you. He said I will never find someone that will care for me like he cares for me. And even if I have to move on, the next person that will be with me will cheat on me. And in normal circumstances, I would be like, boy, bye. But I really started to believe that, because he would say it very often, if you leave me, the next man that you're going to be with will definitely cheat on you. So basically, like, I'm as good as it gets. And it wasn't even good. So like, and it was, I started to believe it. I would try to dress up. I'm someone who really likes to dress up. And I would dress up, look nice, and try to look nice for him, to see me. And he would be like, I'm not going to give you a compliment, because why should I compliment people like you? People like you don't deserve compliments, because you're going to just take it to your head and it's going to make your head bigger. And it would really hurt me, and I would pretend like it didn't. I'd be like, whatever, I know I'm so fly, but it would really hurt me, because this is someone that you're with, and when you dress up as a lady, you just want to be, get that compliment especially from someone you're with. And this relationship was very tumultuous, obviously, which yeah, it was bad. But I was looking for something, or looking for some sort of validation within that relationship. And a lot of you know that I'm Christian. I was born and raised in the church, and I gave my life to Christ when I was 15 years old. So but by that time, my relationship with God had flown out the window. That was not my priority. That was not something I cared for. That was, like, I was going to church, probably to appease my mother at that point. But like, it was just why did this thing happen to me? And why am I in this situation? Why am I in this position? And so my personal relationship with God was just non-existent. And all I want, every day I woke up and I was just like, when does it end? When does this thing end? When does my life end? And that's how I felt every single day. And that was really sad. This is a very sad way to live. But I remember one day, we went out with friends, as I probably always was doing, but it was a Sunday, and we went out, and we went to a friend of a friend's place, and everyone was drinking, and everyone was just having fun, and it was getting a bit late, and I don't know where everyone was at that time, but I remember sitting on the stairs of this place, and I made a whole Snapchat. If any of you follow me on my Instagram or have me on WhatsApp, everyone knows I really like videos. You know, I am not shy with videos. So I was on my Snapchat at the time, and I decided, I was like, you know what, Lord, this is not for me. This life that I'm living, it's not who I am. And I know it's not who I am because it doesn't even feel, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel authentic to who I am. And I've lost my way a bit. And I just need to get back to being myself, or someone that I can identify, or someone that I know that, okay, no, this is Thando, like. And at that point, for the past 2 years, from the rape incident to now being 25, I was like, I don't know who I am, and where do I even start, or where do I begin? And as I was like, I'm done. Of course, having a mom who is someone who prays, she was praying for me, and she was obviously watching her child just completely be the opposite of who she knows me to be and who she raised. And I swear, 24 hours later, God answered my prayers, and probably my mother's prayers, where something happened, and it was a whole lot of drama, but God separated me from that friend group, from that person, and I was now in this place. I was alone, and because this is what I had asked God for. It was very painful at the time with everything that had happened and all the drama that happened and stuff, but I was now alone. I was now very heartbroken, more by the friendship than that relationship, more than anything. And I was shattered, and when I was shattered, I just began to go back to the person that knows me. And for me, the person, and I think for everyone, the person that knows you is the person that created you, and the person that created you is God. And I began to, rededicate my life back to God. That was 2016. That was 4 years ago. I began to rededicate my life to God, and just trying to find who Thando is, and how God created me, and why God created me. There was a certain purpose that I was here, and the one that knows me is God. And for me to know myself, I need to know God. I needed to search for God, and that was spending time with God. That was reading my Bible. That was finding out what God says about me within the Bible, and what was he saying. And I needed to begin an intimate relationship with God for me to find who I am, or myself again. And that was a really really eye-opening time, now obviously when I look back on it, as to we always search for ourselves within the world, but the person who has the answers to who we are, why we're here, what your purpose is actually God. and the one that made you. So I know my purpose is to serve. And I didn't know that. I always thought my purpose was to be the super corporate woman. And that's just probably part of the place that God will probably use me in. But that's not my purpose. My purpose is to serve, and my purpose is to make sure that I am aligned to what God at the time thinks that I should be doing. So at this time in my life and in my purpose is I need to share myself, and I need to be vulnerable and open myself to people, other women that might not know their own purpose. They might not know their own identity right now. They might be struggling with certain things, and that's my purpose, to share my story and be vulnerable in that sense, because I don't know who I'm reaching, who I'm touching. But even if it's one person, that's enough, because that's the message that God wants you to hear. God wants you to know that He loves you, He cares for you, and that you're not here by mistake. You're here for a reason, for a purpose. You might not know what it is right now, but for you to find out is you need to go back to your maker, your creator, the one that loves you, and spend time with Him, and He will reveal Himself to you, and reveal yourself to yourself. And that's how you begin to shape yourself and shape your identity. And I believe that that's the only way you can find your identity, through Christ. And that's the only person you can. I really hope that this message helps whoever might need it. It's really never easy for me to share, especially about personal things that I've been through. But I genuinely hope that it reaches whoever it needs to reach, and that it becomes something that helps you along the way, that you're not alone. And if you feel like you need to talk, or someone to talk to, even a stranger, you can always reach out to me on Alara's page or on my personal account, which is at Thando Mzb. And I really hope this helps you. And thank you for watching until the end. God bless you.